to my other point. So lately, there has been this massive awareness campaign on the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. It was started by a man called Bill Maher. Bill Maher is an American comedian and journalist who went online or on a TV station and spoke up about how that the whole world has just been silent about the genocide of Christians in Nigeria. The moment the people heard genocide, the term genocide, everybody became agitated. Oh my gosh, Nigerians went on a defensive campaign, massive defensive campaign. Senator Ted Cruz already wrote Marco Rubio and was already writing reports about this and saying we need to do something as Americans because these guys are about to wipe out the whole Christian population in Nigeria.
Please tell Trump to save our life in Nigeria. He has been building to settle peace between Israel and also
videos that we're showing right now on screen, the videos that you sent me, Masara, what are we looking at? What is this burial?
Yeah, so that was the burial of the 11 victims of the attack, attack of October the 14th in the village of
Horrible report to share with you out of Nigeria. Masara Kim from...
And they want to prove that I was saying lies. I was telling lies. But they have not seen the truth yet. Because if we don't speak the truth, let me tell you, our life is in danger. It's only the truth can save us in Nigeria. Only the truth. Speak the truth. I'll choose them. I want to join these people by saying the truth to the world. And I will say the truth. Muslim tickets are out to consume us in Nigeria.
Nigeria actually has far more Christians than Muslims, and we know that. People used to say it's 50-50, but from records, it's slightly above the other population. And the level of killings that we have seen, the level of killings, it's gone on for far too long. And I keep saying to people, no one is denying that Muslims get killed as well in the process. These guys also target Muslims, but there is no doubt, no gainsaying the fact that Christians are the principal targets of these attacks. These attacks happen mostly on Sundays when they invade churches that are in session, kill almost everybody there. Sometimes they kill them and put on the choir garments, dance around in the choir garments over the dead bodies of those Christians in their churches just to mock them and their God. This has happened multiple times. These guys have wiped out so many predominantly Christian villages and farmlands, and I cannot tell you how many. Most of those Christians have ended up now as refugees in their own lands. And guess what happens to their homes that they've been driven away from? The invading genocidal killers turn around to take those homes, rename them, and take them over as their own permanently. So those Christians are not expected to return to their homes anymore. The government will probably end up now having to relocate them somewhere else. So they've lost their homes and their farmlands to invading terrorists. This is happening every single time in Nigeria, and it's all well documented. And people still have the effrontery to challenge the narrative coming from the United States of America. Even if they had any ulterior motive for doing that. As many of them are claiming that, oh, it was because the vice president of Nigeria went to the United Nations to go and speak up for Palestine. So Israel now unleashed all the journalists on them. And I'm like, is this the first time we've had something like this? 2019, this thing went to its peak. I believe that was the time that the killings actually began to degenerate into a genocide. And that was when Osinbajo, the then vice president, was summoned to the United States of America. And when he got to the United States of America, he came and told them, oh, it wasn't anything serious. It was just mere farmer-herder clashes. That it wasn't anything serious.
Facelift for an auditorium once stained with blood. 41 worshippers ruthlessly killed on June 5th of 2022 when gunmen opened fire and detonated explosives inside St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church in Owo, Nigeria. 87 people were severely injured, including Margaret Atta, who lost both legs when a bomb exploded next to her.
It's not easy because since then, if I hear any sound, any strange sound, my mind will just jump. Whenever I just flash back to that very day, my mind will just say, I cannot go.
Nigerian authorities say officials say it was carried out by the Islamic State West Africa Province or ISWAP. Over the weekend, the Catholic Church Diocese and Ondo State authorities held a memorial service to honor the dead and show support for the survivors. They also dedicated a park in memory of the victims. Ondo Deputy State Governor Lucky Aye.
He trivialized it until we presented hard evidence. And the Trump administration now looked Buhari in the face, which Buhari himself admitted, and told him, why are you killing Christians in Nigeria? It was after that Nigeria was designated as a country of particular concern. That same designation is what Ted Cruz and about 6 senators in America today are pushing for, and Nigerians are running helter-skelter trying to discredit anybody who speaks up in favor of Christians, including Christians themselves, including the very hopeless Christian Association of Nigeria that has never ever in its history defended the Christian cause in Nigeria.
In fact, my brother Okechukwu, you are absolutely correct that CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria, is the most useless organization in Nigeria, if not the entire world. You know, when I noticed this was when a pastor was being beheaded in the north by all those jihadists. Did you hear them say anything? Or did you hear them do anything? Even when, the current administration went to the car park, gathered touts, wear them pastors and bishop uniform, make us believe that they are actually Christians, for them to support Muslim ticket, and of which they did openly. Later, we got to know that they are not actually pastors, but they are arborers in the park. Touts! Did you hear Khan come out, to say something against that? It's so terrible that Khan, has sold their souls. Peanut, that when their own fellow Christian members are being buyed, you will never hear them say anything. Christian Association of Nigeria is a disgrace to all Christians in Nigeria and the entire world. A disgrace indeed. Please, let's continue listening to our brother.
So whoever wants to come and do image making for the government of the day, they have to go to Christian Association of Nigeria because they follow the government talking points and narrative. Now we are hearing from a soldier. I don't know anybody in Nigeria who has not gotten tired of seeing videos of the massacres. These guys who killed these Christians, they kill them and they make videos and they post them. And yet the government has the effrontery to call them to peace talks, where they march into the venue of the peace talks. They ride in on their bikes with those ammunitions, rocket propelled grenades, AK-47s, all kinds of weapons. But our own vigilantes who are meant to defend their homelands with just Dane guns are not allowed to own Dane guns. But these ones can carry AK-47 and military-grade rifles and bullets. One man was literally so angry, he was showing the commissioner for police the bullet, military-grade bullet. Another soldier showed up the other time and posted a video just a few days ago talking about how that where the Fulani men came to attack, that the people were crying out for help and the military was busy looking the other way, telling them not to do anything. Soldiers are angrily making videos every day. I've never seen anything like the Nigerian soldiers that are angry with what is going on, what they are witnessing, and making videos exposing their own force. The guy said that rather than help the Christians that are being killed, the bosses were busy building schools and boreholes for the invading terrorists who kill and take over people's villages. So they are helping them to settle in the villages that they have just forcefully taken from the Christians.
I don't know that you listening, if you actually got what Okechukwu said here, that when those terrorists chase the owners of the land away, the terrorists will now come occupy the land, and schools, borehole, and other social amenities will be built for those terrorists that have occupied people's land. And those that have chased away will go to IDP camps. They will be there suffering, crying in anguish, while those that have taken their land, those terrorists, will be there enjoying social amenities by the government of the day. Chai! Odiego.
This is what we are witnessing. And that is not to talk about how that Nigerian government, which started during the era of Buhari, the former president, they have this program they call Repentant Boko Haram, where every time, I think it's every quarter or something like that, a few times in the year, 2, 3, or 4 times in a year, hundreds of these guys who kill and maim and decapitate and disembowel, who murder Christians and even some Muslims in the most horrific manner ever, they are allowed to walk into a place they call rehabilitation center where nothing serious is done. And after a short while, with the VIP treatment they receive, they are also given red carpets. They walk on a red carpet, out of the place, and they call it graduation, that they've graduated from the orientation program. And now we call them Repentant Boko Haram. And guess what? The government now say you are going to be integrated into the society, and you can join the army, police, on everything. I can even become president of Nigeria.
When a military officer said that Boko Haram can aspire to become a president of Nigeria, he can aspire to become whatever he wants to be in Nigeria. Terrorists, killers, listen.
For everyone, you need to come on board. Boko Haram should lay their arms unconditionally and be accepted in the community. Opportunities are out there for them. They can be rehabilitated. An ex-Boko Haram stands having laid his arms and comes back, turns his way away from his negativity. He stands to be a president of this country. He stands to aspire to any position in this country. Why is he?
Fighters, killers. This is what we are dealing with in that country, Nigeria. It's not hidden. Look it up. Every single year this happens. How many Christians who became refugees have returned to their homes? You can hardly find it. So the terrorists are not punished. They are pampered. They are pampered. Doesn't that make you think? There is no willingness to stop the massacres and killings. Is it peace talks? They just had another peace talk again a day or two ago in Katsina. That one, they had hundreds of the same terrorists who came with their mighty weapons. I'm talking military grade weapons. Why is it that local communities cannot also be armed to protect? This is why I am talking about the federal government of Nigeria is instituted to destroy its citizens, to kill its citizens. Nigeria, as currently constituted, is built to destroy, just be a business entity for the colonial powers, but every other thing that has to do with security of lives and property, Nigeria is not instituted to give that to you. That's why they will not allow local communities to be armed. Let me be honest, if we give the regions the power to handle their own security, if police and army and military and all kinds of security apparatuses or security structures, if all the security installations in Nigeria are handed over to the regions and let every state take charge of their own security, mark my words today, you will not hear one single news of any attack on the indigenous communities in those regions. We have seen soldiers who come out in the open.
Of course, they are not going to allow regionalism, system of government where people should rule and guide and protect themselves based on their cultural and ideological value. They will not allow that, because once that is done, all these shenanigans will stop. All this buying massacre will stop. Now, they can never accept regionalism. A system of government, rule yourself according to what you believe. Let me rule myself according to my belief. Is that a bad thing? You listening to this and watching, is that a bad thing? We are doomed.
Videos are everywhere in the open saying that, when the invading terrorists want to attack, it is the security operatives who are supposed to protect the people that go ahead, first of all, to disarm the people, and that when the attackers come in, that they always act like they are incapable of doing anything. They just sit down and watch them. Some of them, sometimes they even tell them to stand down, and they leave and allow the attacks to happen. What if the people were even allowed with their own local guns and other means of protecting themselves? Rather than disarming them, at least whatever weapons these guys will come with, the guys at home can face them. But the thing is that they are disarmed. And nobody then does anything when the invader... Can't you see this is a gigantic, sinister plan to wipe off the Christian population? But it's a crime in Nigeria to talk about it, because there's a massive, gigantic spell that is over the people. So we are praying today that by the special grace of God, as the world is now becoming more aware again, as it happened in 2019 when Trump designated Nigeria, let's hope that that designation comes again. And let's hope that when the designation happens this time, that it will also produce a significant result. Because I remember then when Trump designated Nigeria, all of a sudden Bokoharam attacks slowed down almost by 60 to 70%. Let's see how it happens this time around, as those who have been engraced by God to speak up continue to speak up. God help Nigerian Christians, for real. Okay, so finally, there's a topic that is very sensitive that I have been dealing with for some time. So months ago, I think it was probably about maybe 5 or 6 months ago, I had something that looked like an open vision. I don't know what to call it, but it just looked like an open vision. And I felt like what I was seeing was a situation where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the freedom fighter, the Christian freedom fighter from eastern part of Nigeria, I saw where his health rapidly degenerated in detention, and it was like a serious emergency. They were trying to rush him. I didn't even give all these details, but I know what I saw. So I quickly made a video, posted on all my social media platforms, and I said, Nigeria, the time to release this man is now, because you will get to a point. I don't know how many people saw it. I put it everywhere. It was on TikTok before I lost my TikTok account. It was everywhere, because I knew that something was going to happen. And after that video, I have remained consistent in calling for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The reason we started calling for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is that we started seeing, as always, things that appeared to be an effrontery, like an insult on our collective sensibilities. How do you gather terrorists, globally proscribed terrorists, genocidal murderers of innocent people, and invite them to a peace talk where they carry their weapons, majestically and gloriously drive in, ride in there, and have peace talks with them, and continue to maintain cordial relationship with them while they still kill our people? But a freedom fighter from eastern Nigeria who was waiting for his time in court before the military invaded his home and he then ran away is the one that you guys are holding hostage in detention for 4 years and counting. And I'm thinking to myself, no, wait, if this guy has done something wrong, bring the charges. He's gone to court probably 1,000 times. And every time the court fails to bring the charges, he has not been charged with any crime till this day. But he's still left in detention. And I'm asking, how? Why? Okay, whatever it is you guys have in mind, let us make sure that this guy is released, because she's no longer making any sense. I've been asking people, can you help me make this make sense? I mean, someone has been in detention, a whole Nigerian judiciary has not been able to prove that this is what he did wrong, and you still won't let him go home and be with his family. And I said to myself, as a man who was created to fight against injustice, I don't have any choice to do the things I do. I was just born this way. There are so many people who will look at injustice right underneath their nostrils, and they will never move, and they won't even flinch. I am not that way. I am the kind of person who is very spontaneous about my reaction to injustice, and that's why I decided we must speak up for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He is treated this way because of his last name, because of his first name, because of where he came from or where he comes from. We know that the reason this is happening to him is because the guy is an Igbo man. There's no two ways about it. People sometimes are finding it difficult. They feel like, oh, this gaslighting will come now. I don't care who gaslights. It's not my business. My job is to see the truth and call it the truth. If I see a lie, I call it a lie. This guy is long overdue for a release. If it is pardon, pardon. Whatever you want to do, do it. But release the guy to go home. It's becoming an insult. It's becoming a stain, a slight on the conscience of the humanity that reside within Nigeria. It's painful to watch what they have done to this young man. And so I was very delighted when Omoyele Sowore came up with Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu protest. No, personally, I don't believe in protests because given my background, I know how protests are organized. I know the ones that are real and the ones that are fake. I know the ones that will produce any results and the one that will not. If I am on anybody's payroll to create protests, I can create really good protests. But I don't believe in them because I know what's behind protests. However, I support protests whenever I can, because one thing that protests can do, even if they don't achieve any tangible, and one thing they can do is they create awareness. Protests bring awareness to a situation that many people probably may not know about. And that's why I support that protest. And I've also declared that on the 18th day of October 2025, we're going to declare that day the World Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Day. World Mazi Nnamdi Kanu Day means that on that day, to all people of conscience, influencers, activists, preachers, pastors, GOs, whoever you are, I know many of them don't like talking about anything that has to do with justice because they want to protect their interests. But for those who have what it takes to speak up on social media, on that same day, 18th of October 2025, we wake up in the morning and we don't post about anything other than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. From morning till the very last hour that ends that day, all you are going to post across all your social media handles is going to be about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's going to be the biggest awareness campaign the world has ever seen for this man, to let the whole world know exactly what is going on. On that day, you will post, because there are so many people who are wondering, how can these people be fighting for somebody who jumped bail? Let them know he didn't jump bail. He was in his home waiting for his day in court when the military invaded, and people in his home were killed. People around him were, in fact, for months we believed 100% that they killed him and took his body away, until he surfaced somewhere in Israel and later went to Europe. We thought he had died, because many people that were around him that day were killed. And this was why he was waiting for his day in court. He wasn't escaping. We need to post all these facts on the 18th. We need to post about his legacies. We need to post about so many things that led to why this man started the organization that they say they have now proscribed, called IPOB. The level of injustice against his people that birthed this IPOB, that continues to feed that same IPOB ideology till this day. It has not stopped. We need to post about all these things. It's an awareness campaign there. Tell the world about this man and what he stands for. That's what we're going to do on the 18th of October 2025, 2 days before the planned Free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu protest. And with that, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who have been standing by us, by me. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who have been following very strongly. Lately, I haven't been putting out a lot of videos because I have got so much, I won't say distractions, it's just engagement. But at least I thank God that I'm able to still say something to you guys whenever I have the opportunity. And I thank you for continuing to follow and continuing to share our videos. Please make sure that this one gets round so that more people are enlightened on the facts and on the truth about what is to come very soon. God bless you.
Thank you, Okechukwu, for this wonderful update once again. You watching, what you think in this clip? Please do wait to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much as you do that.